Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. This is a short video about magical U.S. government scientists. Our story begins at the beautiful village of Buar in the Central African Republic. It looks like a lovely place, and they've kept meticulous temperature records there for 70 years. It's located in a nice rural location in the western Central African Republic near Cameroon. The thermometer appears to be well sited away from any urban areas. The temperature records kept there since 1950 show no trend at all. But U.S. government scientists sitting at their desks have apparently determined that the people at Buar did not know how to read thermometers properly in the past. These employees at NOAA and NASA have altered the data and turned the non-trend into a strong warming trend. After altering the data, NOAA has determined that Buar is warming at a rate faster than 6 degrees per century. NOAA accomplished this magic by progressively subtracting larger and larger numbers from the temperatures of the past. NOAA has determined that the people in Buar misread their thermometers in the 1950s by almost 6 degrees Fahrenheit. This is pretty amazing information which could only have been determined at a seance, because there's no physical evidence to support this idea. These were actual thermometer measurements taken by trained observers during the 1950s. How could NOAA possibly think they were off by 6 degrees Fahrenheit? The arrogance on display by U.S. government scientists is really quite breathtaking. Now we're going to travel to the airport at Cali, Colombia. Cali looks like a beautiful place, and the airport is located away from the city about 10 miles in a reasonably good rural location. Over the last 70 years, trained observers at Cali took meticulous measurements of the temperature, which showed a cooling trend. But people sitting at a desk at NOAA now have determined that they know more about temperature readings taken in Colombia from the 1950s than the people who took them at the time. So these top American scientists have taken it on themselves to subtract about 5 degrees from temperatures from the 1950s and create a warming trend out of the cooling trend. These American scientists have determined that the people in Colombia were progressively incompetent further back in the past, to the point where they misread their thermometers from the 1950s by about 5 degrees Fahrenheit. This graph shows how much U.S. government scientists have subtracted from the actual measured temperatures. 5 degrees is pretty impressive data tampering. The NOAA climate seance is pretty entertaining, but there's another aspect to this data tampering as well. At both of these stations in Africa and South America, the data showed a cooling trend into the 1970s. This is at Buar, Central Africa, and we see that same cooling into the 1970s at Cali, Colombia. What's interesting about this is that it's well known that there was a strong cooling trend in the Northern Hemisphere going into the 1970s. This graph was from the National Academy of Sciences, and it showed the cooling trend. But we can see from the data in Colombia and Central Africa that the same cooling trend was visible near the equator. So it's not surprising that government scientists would want to erase this inconvenient temperature trend. I can't imagine tampering with someone else's work from 70 years ago, but it's routine behavior for U.S. government scientists. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on the climate scam for almost 16 years. You can visit him and his family on the web at realclimatescience.com.